Hey, what's going on, everybody? ChazmaN here. We're back with another episode of the Podcast, where, I don't know, as always, this is your favorite place to hear all of the sick 420 Super Mario news. Am I right, guys?
Oh, so right.
Did you just say 420?
Yeah,
it is 420.
It is 420.
Oh, snap. I didn't even think about
sick, bro.
Sick. Oh, no.
Well, it's a happy coincidence because, this is like the third day we've pushed off this podcast for varying other responsibilities and obligations, so...
I hate being an adult.
Yeah. It's a challenge sometimes. Well, you got that new kid, so that's changed things quite a bit for you, I'm sure.
Oh, Nigel Pabru in chat says hi. That was quick. What's going on, Nigel?
Hi.
Welcome.
But, yeah, how have you guys been? So you guys are out of the basement, out of the attic. You guys are out and about right now.
I want more sleep.
Yeah. I agree with you, man. I just woke up from a nap.
Yeah, I think it's nothing new. I think we talked about it last time, but for me, like, end of April, man, it's just like busy season in all aspects. So I'm dragging a little bit, but I'm happy to be here. We haven't got to chat in a while, and some good topics on the docket, so I'm excited to chat for a little while.
Most definitely. So I guess just to kind of briefly go over what we got, I'm going to try and go over. We got a couple games we're going to talk about. What do we got? We got a little update to our little Olympics high score type game.
Oh.
Yeah, mainly deals with Phoenix over here.
You can call it early loser real fast for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well.
And then what else? Oh, we got a bunch of speedrun topics, and then we're going to get right into Mario? Is that That's the one thing we didn't get to kind of touch on. We wanted to touch on it earlier, but I think I was the one who waited so long to watch it.
Me and Metal rushed to watch it like opening weekend. We contributed to that, $500 million opening weekend, some nonsense like that. And
wasn't it like 500? They're at like 500 million now or something crazy.
Huge.
They said they were going to be between 3 and 5, and they nailed it.
Well, I think they overestimated, like, the second week they had, like, super high retention, like 30-some-odd%, which is, like, crazy for a movie like that. So, no, they're going to rake in so much money. But we can talk about what that means as we get a little closer to it.
Yeah, most definitely. So, I don't know, what do you guys want to talk about first? Do you talk about my game or Phoenix, or did you want to go into our new little segment we wanted to kind of introduce? I say let's start with the new segment.
Okay. It's your podcast. You're in charge.
I don't know. It's up to you.
You already said it.
Okay.
Do it. Go back out now.
Here we go.
Too late.
Here's a little opening I started for us. So here we go.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So this is my fault because we have our what you playing section, but I only play Marvel Snap now. So,
oh my god!
I pitched the idea of having a little mini Marvel Snapchat kind of thing, but the Snapchat podcast has already been taken by better streamers than us. So Snapback, maybe that's an okay name. If you're in the chat, tell us if that's better. We have no pride. We'll change it. We don't care.
I didn't think it sounded like it might be a fun 5-minute recurring segment where we just talk about some of the updates or some of the things that are kind of happening.
Short. But I guess I'll kind of just hop into it because Marvel Snap had a fairly large update this past week.
If you want to talk about it, I've got it on screen. So.
Okay, cool. Metal, have you been playing Snap at all? Have you I know you got some other responsibilities. Some wager you probably haven't spent nearly as much time as we have.
What's funny about it is that I had the thought of playing the other day, and I didn't. But I really should be playing a little bit more.
I said you got a responsibility that I think is a higher priority, but either way,
there's no higher priority than Marvel Snap right now.
For a while, that's been true for me. All right, so for those who have been playing and keeping up with the game, there have been some pretty big card updates. Shuri in particular and Leech have been two cards that people have been fairly up in arms about. Shuri is just a very high-powered play. Has been pretty hard to stop in a lot of decks, so it kind of became a all-encompassing meta card that I think people were just getting tired of seeing. And then Leech was just no fun. Everybody hated Leech because it ruined all the cool stuff you can do.
I never run Leech.
Yeah, he's not, I think, a bad card to have, but when he pops up on you, it just really drains you of any kind of enjoyment you were having for your plans. But either way, those are the two big updates. I'll just quickly kind of outline what they changed, and then we can chat about it.
Good.
For Shuri, they actually didn't do much. Shuri still will double the power of the next card you play, which, I mean, that's big. The catch is that the card you play has to be in the same lane. So it used to be that you could throw Shuri anywhere on the board, and then the next card you play, no matter where it's at, would just be double powered. So it'd be a little harder to anticipate. There were some ways to kind of block it from being interrupted, but keeping it in the same lane limits it a little bit. I don't think too much, but it does give it some extra thought in how you actually play the card, which is probably good. And then Leech, its big difference, well, actually it's two differences. For one, it will now only apply on turn 6. So if you drop him, which he's supposed to be a turn 5 card, he will only affect you on turn 6. The big issue with Leech was you could drop like turn 4 if you had him in the right type of deck. You kind of ramp into him, you use like a lockjaw.
So that makes Leech basically unusable unless you have the primary, right? If you go first.
No, because I mean it would happen on turn 5. You have to drop him on turn 5.
Oh,
so going into turn 6, regardless. Well, if it affects turn 6, but it's already been kind of in play starting at turn 5, so the effect's going to take place regardless of who has priority. So that's better. I think one of the bigger issues was you'd get an early Leech like on turn 4 or something like that, and then that would just ruin all your cards for the rest of the game. At least this gives you a little way to kind of anticipate it, work around it a little bit, and I guess potentially a way to maybe turn it off, because it's no longer an on-reveal card. I think it's a card that has to still be in play the entire time, so I don't know if there's an easy way to get rid of the card or nullify it, but there's, I think, some more workaround for Leech, which is nice. So those are the two big changes. There are a few other changes to stuff like Lockjaw, and some other cards like Leader got a buff, but I personally don't play Leader too often, so that doesn't impact me too much yet. But how do you feel about that, Chaz? I know you have a Shuri, don't you?
I have a Shuri, yep.
Yeah.
I have noticed it's... Because it sucks, because recently I just got Black Panther. So I recently got Black Panther and Arnim... What is it? Arnim
Zola.
Arnim Zola. And it is kind of more difficult to get that kind of setup going, because, I mean, obviously, you have to have Shuri on the same location. So like you were saying, now it's like a 50-50 shot of Arnim hitting up Black Panther to kind of separate him out. And I'll be honest, I don't necessarily think that combination has been that successful for me so far. I think it's just because
Shuri, Black Panther.
I think it's because
Zola.
Everyone has things that are like combating it. Like everyone's got Shang-Chi right now, and everyone's got Cosmo. It's just
here's for that. I mean, I agree with that. Like if you're using Shuri as your primary way to buff up Black Panther, that doesn't play well with Zola, especially with this change now, right? Because you have to put Black Panther in the same lane as Shuri, and the way Zola works is it picks one of those cards to duplicate, so now there's no guarantee it's even going to land on Black Panther. You're right, it can be Shang-Chi'd. I think what doesn't affect this for me as much, because I've kind of leaned off using Shuri as much as I used to. I used to use Shuri all the time with She-Hulk and Taskmaster, but I've really kind of fell back on the Wong Black Panther combo. It's kind of like an old school one, but honestly, Wong will do the same thing as Shuri does. If you drop Wong on the deck and then drop Black Panther on top of it, it doubles Black Panther's power because it repeats his ability. Then if you do Arnim Zola on that, you're guaranteed to hit Panther if those are the only cards you have there. So I think that's kind of a better combo if you have Wong.
I've been seeing everybody running. What I get destroyed by, because I'm in like I think I'm in the upper 40s, so I'm like almost at 50, but I can't get over that hump. And everybody is running with the Odin. They have, what do they have? Odin. They have
Wong, White Tiger, Ironheart.
Yeah, man. And people rack up the points. They get into like the 20s, 30s easily.
Of course, all you got to do, drop a Cosmo.
Yeah,
keep Cosmo in your hand, drop it on. Like, I'll tell you, I'm not a big tech card user. I really should be, because I know that's really the only way to kind of, I think, make progress after a certain point. But I want to play the cards that, are more fun and do something fun on my side. I hate wasting a turn essentially to block somebody else. I know it's crucial, but yeah, if you play a Cosmo on them, you'll ruin any kind of plans they had with Wong and Odin, etc. But I don't know. I mean, we don't have to go too much deeper in that. I just kind of wanted to mention the updates, if you had any thoughts on it. I personally have not got to play as much as I would have liked this season. As I said, busy time, so I've been kind of dabbling with it. I've made like no progress. I got reset like at the start of the season to 70, because that's where you jump after you come back from Infinite. I'm still like low 70s. I barely made any progress. Part of it, it's a hard fight in the 70s. Like, I'll go up a couple levels, I go down a couple levels, up, down. So
yeah, I mean, I don't have much to add. I've been fairly casual with it. Don't get me wrong, I try and win and build the best deck I can, but I would say again, I've been in the upper 40s, and it's a grind, man. Like, I'm losing probably more rounds than I win at this point, and yeah, it's mainly those deck types. It's just people running. Everyone's got Wong, Odin, like you were saying, White Tiger, and they slam all them together, and it just.
I would say then if that's what you're hitting the majority of, bring a Cosmo along, but then you just have to have a good backup. You don't have a Patriot, do you?
Still don't have a Patriot, no.
Yeah, Patriot's a really good, solid, just consistent deck, but if you don't have it, it's not going to help you too much.
I need a Wong, man. Wong's one of the big ones I've been wanting. I cannot land him.
Yeah, no, Wong's one of my favorite cards. You can use him in a lot of different types of decks, whether it be the Black Panther stuff, the Odin stuff. There's some fun stuff you can do with Gambit if you kind of get that lined up right. He's a fun card. There's something else I want to get into at some point. We don't have to do it now because we're a little far out, but they leaked the June bundle, which is going to be all Spider-Verse themed. We don't have all the stuff up right now, and it's a leak, so I don't know how confirmed everything is, so maybe we'll leave that for the next snapback discussion, but you should look into it. There's some cool stuff. I'm a huge Spider-Man guy, and Spider-Verse just in general I think is going to be great, so I like the kind of theme in that month. When does
Spider-Verse come out again? Is that like later?
I'm assuming
September?
June.
Oh, it's that early. Oh, okay.
I'm imagining. Well, I could be wrong. I can't recall the movie day off the top of my head, but from what I've been able to tell with how Snap works, they release the bundle theme or theme of the bundle whenever that movie comes out. Like, they had the Ant-Man stuff during Ant-Man Quantumania. They had what was the other one? Crap, my brain just stopped. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Spider-Man is going to be coming up same time, so I would imagine it's coming out in June along with the bundle. But
okay,
we can leave that for a future chat.
Alright, so I'm going to move us on over to something I finally got to play. I won't go on too long, but something I really enjoyed is I finally got to play The Last of Us. It's something I had said I'd wanted to do after watching the show. So if you don't know, I played The Last of Us Remastered on the PlayStation 5.
So when you say remastered, it's the
2014 PS4 version.
Okay, so it's the PS4 version. You're not playing
not the remake. I think I'm gonna play the remake eventually as well.
I don't know if it's gonna be worth it now.
Really?
Like, I mean, I'll let you kind of tell me how you're feeling about it, but there's not, I think, a big enough difference between the remaster and the remake. I think that's why I was trying to encourage you to play the remake first, because that probably would have been your best experience. So playing that first, there's no need to go back. But playing the old stuff and then trying to play the new one to get any benefit out of, I don't think you're going to get much, but I could be wrong.
So rather than get into all of the intricacies with this game itself, I kind of wanted to just kind of talk about my feelings between the show and the game kind of now. Like, I'll talk about some stuff for the game, but I found myself loving the game. I thought it was awesome. Like,
from a story standpoint or gameplay standpoint?
Well, the story beats are very similar to the show, so I kind of saw most of the beats kind of coming. But yeah, in terms of the gameplay, like, the gameplay is what kind of surprises me, is like, because I had always heard that, like, it was very cinematic and more like a movie, and I thought the gameplay was awesome. Like, I actually feel like Joel in this game, like, makes the Pedro Pascal version kind of weak sauce in a bit, because you have, like, such an array and an arsenal of, like, weapons, like, throughout the game, and it's like most of those weapons, like, you don't get a flamethrower in the in the TV show and stuff, and like, Joel,
the ending much more interesting.
Yeah, Joel is, like, my opinion, I think Joel is way cooler here. I will say the one thing that I feel like the TV show did mildly better than the game, the only thing I thought was I really do think Pedro Pascal brought a lot to the Joel character. I feel like he, for certain scenes and certain dialogue sections, I feel like he was really able to get across a little bit more emotion than Joel kind of conveys here. It's not like a huge leap, but I felt like that was something that I preferred. Unfortunately, I thought Bella Ramsey didn't really bring a heck of a whole lot additional stuff to the character of Ellie, other than the one scene where she's in the cage, you know, with David. Like I feel like Bella Ramsey actually brought a little bit more for that section.
How far are you in the game? Just out of curiosity, I have not watched your Let's Plays.
I finished it.
I don't care. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I beat the game. I beat the game.
Oh, you beat it? Okay.
Yeah.
Good job.
Sorry. High five.
I'm trying to think. There was one other thing I thought that the only other thing I thought that the TV show I think I liked a little more than the game is I kind of liked what they did with Bill and Frank a little bit more, simply because if you really look into it, Bill and Frank in the game, they're kind of not likable. Bill is kind of an a-hole who kind of, you know, he helps you out, but simply because he's doing you a favor, and you know, like they do have like a relationship, but they're very like not in it for each other, because I don't know, they're very offsetish, and I don't know. I didn't like Bill as much in this as I did. Maybe it's just because of Nick Offerman. Nick Offerman. Maybe just him alone made it more entertaining, but.
So, I kind of want to touch base on a couple of things. So the how do I want to phrase this? The lack of emotion. You said Pascal, you thought did a better job at exuding some emotion. This is why I think I wanted you to play the remaster or the remake a little more.
Mm-hmm.
They did a lot in regards to like facial animation, expressions, to like give a lot more like emotion to the characters, that because you're coming off the, you know, basically PS3 version, like PS4 only does a little bit to make it look better.
I thought the game was awesome looking. Like, it's visually, it was awesome.
It looks good, but I think where you suffer is less, I think, with the resolution and lighting, like character animations and stuff like that. I think that's where you lose a little bit, because over the past, man, when did this game initially come out? It's been over 10 years.
2013,
right?
And then the remaster was 2014.
In 10 years, there have been some big advancements in like animations and whatnot, and that, when I did watch the side-by-side of like remaster versus remake, that was the first thing I noticed. I'm like, okay, that I think is genuinely an improvement. I don't think it's necessarily enough to go replay the game again, but if it was my first time experiencing it, I would have wanted that higher, you know, animation fidelity, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm curious if you would have seen that, you know, updated version, if that would change your feelings on the emotional side of things. I still like the game version of Joel better than Pascal. Not that I don't like Pascal. I think he did an incredible job. But I feel like, and maybe just because I haven't played it in so long, that the Joel in the game is a little more subtle in his emotions. Like, it's there, but it's a little more underneath the surface. So you do have to dig a little more, but the game gives you a lot more time, I think, to do that, too. The show, you know, because it's a show, it's a lot faster paced, so you don't spend as much time. If they weren't being quite as emotive with how they were feeling and trying to express things with, you know, with facial expressions and the way they were interacting with other characters, I think things would have got lost a little more. The game, I think, has the liberty of being a little more subtle with how they kind of, I'm thinking of a good way to explain this, but how emotive they are. They give you more to dig into throughout gameplay and like small little quips they make with each other. So I don't know, I like the subtle aspect of it. The gameplay, man, the gameplay is not bad. I never thought it was incredible.
I really loved the gameplay. I thought it was fun.
Yeah. I thought it was fun. I mean, I haven't played the first game since, I think, close to when it came out. And at the time, I thought it was probably better than I probably think it is now. Like, comparatively, trying to think back, I recall it being fine and comparative to other games like it. 2, I think, really built upon that. Really? And 2 definitely has, I think, better gameplay overall. It's not that it's ever been bad gameplay. It was just never anything innovative. Like, that was also the era of third person, over the shoulder, cover based everything, and that's what this game is. So
the game is just so cinematic, like how scenes kind of play out, and like when you're walking and talking and everything. It's all so,
it has really good set pieces, good pacing, like that.
Even not cutscene stuff is like looks awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that aspect of the game I think is great. If I'm thinking just like moment to moment like combat and whatnot, it is all serviceable. It is not bad. I would not say it's incredible.
The AI is can be a little wonky. Like there'll be like the enemies will kind of just walk towards you a little bit at some point. Mm-hmm. Not the clickers. The clickers are pretty good about hiding, but the human AI, they kind of they'll just kind of walk out in the open a little bit. But
I think it's interesting too. I have a coworker who's also playing through the game, and I think he's playing the PC version, the new one that just came out. Yeah, so that's another issue. But he's playing what is essentially the remaster of it. And he's saying the same thing. Like the gameplay, he's not loving. He's feeling like it's a little mid. But he's loving the story. So, and once again, I think that's the general take on it. I'm not trying to demean or kind of take away from your feelings on the gameplay. If you like it, that's awesome.
No, I was gonna say what I also think helps the gameplay is just the fact that like the clickers and the actual zombies are like a focal point of the combat of the gameplay, and it's like there are like actual scary scenes in the game, and it's like
the show doesn't do
the show does not doesn't do a good job of conveying how dangerous of a threat the clickers are. And
well, I think that's a side effect of it's a TV show with probably a very tight, run time. It has to squeeze in so much story in. What was it? It was 9 episodes, right? Mm-hmm. Not a lot of time to do that. And all the parts of the game where you have those moments where the clickers are scary and intimidating are during large gameplay sections. And that's what they pretty much had to cut to make way for the narrative. So, well, I don't know. Which part are you thinking?
No, I was just going to say what I think they replaced that with, now that I'm thinking about it, is that they replaced a lot of the gameplay, cool type oriented things. And I think that's why in a lot of those sections, they have replaced it with a lot of those deeper lore, like backstory sections into the enemies and stuff. Whereas like in the game, you don't know anything about, like, there was no Catherine or, the Sam.
Right, they went more character focused.
Yeah, and you don't know anything about that. And then in the TV show, they went deep into David's of town and everything, and you don't really get to see any of that in the game, which I actually like. I'd like kind of not knowing a lot of that background stuff. I feel like the show had to focus on that, like you're saying, to make up for the fact that it can't have these like deep, robust gameplay sections.
Well, you gotta think too, it's not even just the lack of gameplay sections, but where the game was able to elaborate on lore through, like, they didn't have audio logs, but like little note cards and books you could pick up. Like, that's how they could expand the universe. Like, you as the gamer could just be interacting in the environment and have environmental storytelling. They can't do that in the show, so they had to find ways to just overtly be like, here's something that enhances the world building. So they bring in the Catherine character. They try to build up the David storyline. And you could argue if that was a good or a bad idea to build up those specific characters, but I think that's more what they're replacing. Unless they were trying to replace the gameplay, they were trying to replace those moments that you lost out on just environmental storytelling from the game. That would be what I think. And I think for the most part that was a good choice. Like, the Catherine stuff in retrospect I appreciate more, like, when I kind of think about how it fit into the show. The David stuff I'm a little iffy on, but I think partially is I just didn't like that David character nearly as much as I did in the game.
Liked the David in the game far more than the TV show. I hate to say it, I feel like they kind of didn't do that character justice in the show. Because, like, there is an entire game section, the one with Ellie, where, like, they almost are working together to survive this attack by clickers and zombies and stuff. Yeah. And, like, to an extent, it makes that moment where David's like, now that I think about it, I lost a bunch of men because of an old man and a young girl. It hits different because they come off of that section of fighting and surviving together for like a period of time, and it's like, plus like the game, like the religious aspect is there in the game. Like, you kind of see it on banners where they're celebrating, talking about that, but I just feel like the TV show version, he goes too hard into that.
They made him too evil, like cliche, I'm a bad guy. Like, they went the crazy cult leader side of things, which as soon as you go that route, bam, evil. Like, you don't even have to, like, question it. Although in the game, he was undoubtedly a bad guy, it was all a little more subtle.
It's very subtle, yeah.
Yeah, like, I think few people would argue that his motives were good, but you could at least try to understand him a little differently. It came across, I said, more subtly and I think more impactful. So I feel like the game did better in most cases with how they represented characters. I agree. The Bill and Frank too, I liked better in the game for two reasons. I don't know how much you kind of found this in the environment. Did you read any of like the little notes that Frank had left Bill?
I read a couple of them, yeah, and they were just kind of him being just kind of like, screw you, Frank, or screw you, Bill.
There's more to it than that, though, because there's there's parts where it kind of elaborates on they had a relationship. Like, I mean,
No, I agree.
they had
Yeah.
the same type of relationship, but I don't know. I liked that it ended poorly. Like, I know why, or I think I know why the show went kind of, bright rosy kind of storyline for Bill and Frank. I don't feel like that ever fit this story or this world.
I like the
it was nice, I guess. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I like the contrast that episode has as opposed to the rest of the show itself, but I agree if you're looking at it from a realism.
I feel like the contrast comes too early though in the show, because that was what, like episode 3.
Yeah.
Like, you did have a horrendous thing that happened early on with Joel losing his daughter, but like the very next thing then, or close to it, is Bill and Frank and their quote unquote happy ending. Like, I don't think the show had really fully set that tone of this place is messed up. Like, this world is never going to go in your favor. So I think that kind of tweaked the expectations of the viewer a little bit, where maybe they weren't sure. Whereas in the game, it is just like bleak, 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 bleak. Like, every time there's even a moment of hope, it is brought down as quickly as possible. And I think that's kind of, I don't want to say it's the point of the game, but that is such a tonal aspect of the game that I feel like got lost when they shifted the Bill and Frank story. Like, I understand, I think, once again, why they went the direction they did for the show. I liked the bittersweet aspect. Well, not even bittersweet, just the bitter aspect of the Bill
was
and
not
Frank
sweet, because you did not get a sense that they like towards the end liked each other at all. I mean, obviously Frank was running away.
The whole game though is like all about tragedy and like not letting yourself, I don't know, it's a human condition kind of story, right? Not opening up when you had the chance, not loving somebody when you had the chance, not doing whatever you needed to when you had the chance, because this world's just going to rip it out from under you. And that's why I think when you see Bill, it's more tragic that way, because he realizes too that he is a jerk that screwed up, that didn't care for the people he had when he did. And I think if that would have been like, in the show how he left that message for Joel, like, you got to care for the people that you can while you can, I think that would have been more impactful if he had lost Frank. Because then he's like, crap, I lost the one person I cared about because I didn't open up or I didn't do whatever. That's, I think, a more powerful, thing to leave Joel with, to be like, if you don't do it, this is exactly what's going to happen to you. Instead, they kind of went, the rosy aspect of it, which for me didn't land the same way. And I don't want to make this a big rant. We've talked about the show a lot, but I, in almost all cases, prefer how the game handled the characters just a little bit. Not that the show was ever bad, but I liked the character direction in the game.
What about? I feel bad for Gamer. Gamer, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't.
No?
You haven't played the game, right?
No.
Oh, you haven't played the game.
I'm on the fence for a PS5 right now. That's why.
Okay.
Well, then I'm very curious. Whenever you do get the PS5,
we'll talk about it again.
If you can pony up and get the Super Remake version, I'd be curious to get your opinion on that, to see if, as I said, the upgraded animation fidelity sways you in any way.
I'm definitely gonna replay the remake as well. Like, I loved this game. Like, I liked it a lot more than I honestly thought I was, because I was kind of like going into it thinking, okay, I know all of the high points, low points from the show. I know these characters. I don't see how they could. I thought this was awesome. Like, this is probably going to be one of those games where, like, maybe not every year, but like every other year, I might try and do a playthrough of it. Like, I really enjoyed this.
See, it's hard for me to do that with games like this, because
the story is such an important. Yeah.
Well, it's that, and like, it's so concrete, right? This game plays one way, and not that's a bad thing. Some people just like to it's like watching your favorite movie.
It's
right?
like Bioshock. I replay Bioshock like every year.
Bioshock, though, in like the gameplay and whatnot, has a lot
it's
more
not
flexibility.
Linear. Yeah.
Like, the gameplay, and once again, this maybe just for me and how I kind of grasp onto the gameplay of the first game, it wasn't dynamic enough or open enough, so I like want to replay and replay and replay. Bioshock, very different story. Like, that gameplay is impeccable, right? You can do so much in it. So I don't know. I will probably never replay the game again. I would play a sequel, but I think that game was just too concrete for me to want to re-experience it that way.
I also like that it was so short. Like, I beat it in 13, 14 hours. Like,
I miss a good, short, tightly packed narrative. Yeah.
Shoot, there was one other thing I wanted to add. Oh no, I had something like right on my mind. All right. Oh well, I'll have to drop it. But I don't know. I really enjoyed it. That's all I wanted to add.
It is a great game. Like, I'm not trying to take. I know I've probably come across a little harsh on it. It's one of those top 10 games, right? For most people, I mean, it is a masterpiece in most important metrics, gameplay aside, maybe. But I mean, it's one of the greatest games, or at least on the list, for a reason, right? So.
All right. Well, that's all I wanted to add. I had fun with it. Oh shoot. All right. So what do we want to do? We want to real quick just touch on the Phoenix's most unpleasant topic we have, the high score.
Why don't we do our horde first before we bring down my spirits too much?
Okay. All right. So the highlights from where are we at?
Or do we hold on? Do we want to save the horde until we go into our primary topic because it's related to it? Does that make a little more sense?
What is the horde? Oh, okay. Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So I guess we'll go into the sad moment for me.
I had a link for it. Here we go. All right. So if you guys don't know, basically, unfortunately for Phoenix, the Suicide, they kind of announced, Rocksteady did via Twitter, that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has officially been delayed to February 2024. Here's a little tweet that they kind of had for you, but sorry Phoenix.
Yeah,
that goes straight to zero, doesn't it?
Yeah. I thought about trying to plead with you guys about some way to switch it up. I'm just going to take the L here. I mean, I think I was already on the downward trend. Like, what was it? Kerbal was already looking kind of shoddy. This, I think, is just that nail in the coffin for me. Like, to be fair, though, at least, or on the upside, Resident Evil 4, people have been loving. So at least that was one good pick on my end. But yeah, so 0 for me. I mean, I'll tell you, I wasn't sure if I thought the game was going to rank incredibly high. I think we've talked about it. I was mostly banking on the fact it's Rocksteady, they make solid games, maybe that would kind of, pull it through, but I wasn't expecting them to delay it nearly a year. So.
Well, again, I think I mentioned it, but I thought it was a bad pick when you picked it simply because I just thought it wasn't going to be a great game, but I did not expect for it to get delayed. I think everyone's kind of shocked that this game's not coming out this year, considering
like, why, I think, is the biggest question. Like,
they've got to be possibly attempting to pull out all the, I don't see how, but the microtransaction currency type things. Maybe they're trying to dial it back.
I don't know. They're of course saying that's not it. It's all about polishing the game. That's a lot of extra time for polishing a game that apparently was almost ready, or should have been out like right now. So I don't know if I believe that it's all polishing. They're definitely doing some level of reworking. They're not going to rework the entire core of the game. Like, that's just not feasible. It could be inking out the live service stuff, but how do you do that? Like, you've seen this game. You've seen the system it's built on. It's a looter shooter. Like, you're getting gear, and it's upgrading it, and so on and so forth. Like
the gameplay probably is already watered down a little bit simply to kind of work with that type of gameplay, like you're saying. So it's like, if you pull out that aspect, it's like, well, what do you have left? You have some kind of soulless.
It's gonna feel like Gotham Knights. I think where I think that's probably what happened to Gotham Knights, right? They already had this system in place that was very microtransaction-y with their loot system, and then someone's like, we can't do a looter shooter, and then yanked out the live service. So you have this weird component left in, it's not a single player game, but a non-live service game that doesn't really fit. I think that's what you're going to end up here with. I'm trying to think what the benefit's going to be too. Like, say they do that, say they are successful in yanking out the live service aspect and even changing the loot system. Like, is that going to save them here? Like, are people then going to be all favorable towards this game? Because honestly, the biggest thing I've seen people be very much against is just a straight up gameplay. Right? They saw the gameplay trailer, like, ooh, I don't really like that. And that's their big rationale for why they don't want to go and buy this game. So I'm saying people are up in arms a little bit about the live service thing, but I don't think that's the biggest issue for the game. So I don't know. I don't feel like this is going to sway anybody's opinion too much.
It's part of the problem of just chasing trends, It's like when this probably got put into development, or they came up with the idea, stuff like Valorant and all of that stuff is the hot thing, and it's like, you know, you go into a couple of years and now there's only so many people in the world. You know, how many of these live service games can have millions and millions of players?
Think about that for how many MMOs are out there and that are successful. Like, there's plenty of people out there that would play a game like this. I think it's the money-grubbing aspect of certain aspects that really get to people. You got to think, like, I don't know if it's that they were trend chasing, but a game takes how many years to develop. So go back, say, 5 years where this game was starting to go into pre-production. Destiny was at its peak, right? And that was the model everybody was shooting at. Destiny is still doing very good right now. So it's not that live service is a trend. It's all about execution, right? Executed the right way with good incentive to continue playing, with a good gameplay hook, people would be into a live service game. Like the Division 2, people are really into. And there have been other games like it that I don't think it's inherently live service equal bad. We've seen very bad implementations of it lately. You had the Avengers. There was something else that came out not too long ago, though. Anthem.
Anthem.
You've had these really big flops I think have left a bad taste in people's mouth, but doesn't mean inherently live service is bad. Like, in many ways, live service can be really good, right? You get constant updates, you get new content refreshed all the time, and if the monetization scheme isn't super money-grubbing, people can buy into it. Like, I spent too much money in Destiny because I was caught in that hook, and they just kept feeding me more content, and I kept giving them $1 for a new skin. So, and I didn't care. I mean, I was happy with what I was getting. So, I don't know. I don't disagree with what you're saying. They definitely were trying to hop on the live service bandwagon, but I'm not necessarily saying that was a bad thing. It's hard to say.
I think why so many people are turned off, especially someone like me, why in particular I'm turned off, is like, it's the fact that it's Rocksteady. Like, it's like it's like Rocksteady was coming off of like one of the most successful game, trilogies over the last like 10-15 years with 3 Arkham games, which fair, like the third one wasn't like totally beloved, but it was still a really good game.
Good. Yeah.
And it's like you just kind of wasted that. It's like I don't think anyone who was like already on the Rocksteady boat was not looking for this,
Well, I think that's why I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt here, because I knew it was Rocksteady. I'm like, you know what? Maybe with the Rocksteady quality and spin on it, this would work. But it almost seems like they're going more the BioWare side of things, where they had a lot of goodwill, some great games, and then something happens. I don't know if it was necessarily a Rocksteady decision or if this was like a higher up decision that shifted the focus of this game into what it is, but I don't know. Regardless, I'm taking a big 0 on this. I can't imagine I have any shot in this Olympics now, unless somehow both of you have a game that bottoms out, but we shall see.
Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. It is... Okay, so just so everyone can see, it looks like... So Resident Evil 4 Remake for you right now, as of the 16th, was at a 93. You've got an 80 right now for Fire Emblem, and then Suicide Squad delay. So who knows what's up with Kerbal?
And they'll bring Suicide Squad on like December 31st as a big surprise. It's not going to happen.
Your whole thing, it's still resting on Zelda.
There's no way, even if Zelda got 100, I can't imagine.
Link's holding up your...
If you got a perfect score, which no game ever gets a perfect score, balance it out against a 0, I have 2 50s sitting there. So unless you guys have some really awful picks, which I don't think either of you do, like unless you get hit with a delay, you both have pretty solid picks overall between Diablo and Baldur's
Gamer
Gate.
Doesn't have one out yet,
Yeah, but all of yours look pretty solid, unless you get delayed, which I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, maybe with the final... Maybe with the 7 remake, or whichever, whether we're calling it Rebirth, something.
My one I have is sitting at somewhere in the early 80s.
Yeah, which is still that's solid.
So good.
Oh well. Start thinking about what terrible game you want me to play. Metal's already said he wants me to play a horror game, which for those who don't know my lore, I hate horror games. They don't set well with me. Do you recall the day we tried to play, what was it, Amnesia co-op, where I did the keyboard and you did the mouse? That still creeped me out.
You kept running away. Like, I would go forward, he goes, no. And I'm like, trying to walk in a specific direction.
I was good for most of it till we got to that water section, like in the dungeon, like some...
Yeah, with the water
so I'm not looking forward to whatever you guys make me play.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh! I just remembered what my thing I wanted to say on The Last of Us was. Oh well, it just hit me.
Back to it if it's quick.
Oh no! I just wanted to say with the game, like something else I really loved was like the attention to detail for the environments. Like every like room, house, and everything you go into is like a different theme, and like there are normally like notes sitting places that like intricately details what that family or whoever was living there was going through, which is really cool. Like I saw one apartment that was all spicy and Latino themed. Made me feel all nice.
Yeah, no, they had excellent world building.
Like they have like literally apartments and houses that are like ethnically themed, showing that like a Hispanic family lived here or something. You know what I mean? It's really cool.
They found your house with your tiny little room and your game all on the wall, all burned up from the apocalypse.
Yep, pretty much. I'm still
and
sitting
just
in my
little neck-bearded skeleton. Just
my skeleton. Yeah.
For some reason, the beard is still there and everything's gone.
All right, so now we're gonna move on to our speedrun topics for this week. So for the first one, I kind of did reaction videos already to both of these, so I'm not gonna go too much in. I'll let you guys kind of give say what you want. But let me hit the timer. Where are you at? There we go. And boom, go ahead. So did you guys get to watch the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, the final pre-launch trailer? Oh, did it already go off? Hold on. Why did you go off?
Technical difficulties. Give it at 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds.
Oh, it started out at seconds. What the heck? It literally...
Man, I feel like we talked about this so long ago. Did we not already talk to you about this Metal? The Zelda trailer?
All right, go ahead and start.
About the other one, not the new one.
I'll pull up the thing. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty boss, man. I saw.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that one gameplay reveal, not the final trailer. That's right.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to
remember.
remember.
Timer going?
Yeah, it's going. Go ahead.
Oh.
Yeah.
Metal, why don't you talk about? Because we talked about it, I think, in that. What did we talk about it?
We haven't talked about this.
No, we didn't talk about this one.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
You got to see Ganon, and Ganon kind of, it looks like he's infecting Link and Link's sword. He's like kind of engulfing his sword somewhere right here.
He's doing the Sigma stuff.
Where is he?
You know, from Mega Man.
Yeah.
And Ganon.
I think this looks so good. It's fantastic. Because I mean, it's hard to really tell what they're doing, but there's a taste. There's probably some real dungeons in there. The boss encounters. That's what that's what cues me up to this. Probably dungeons too. Like you didn't really have that in the last game. You had those divine beasts and the whatchamacallit, Ganon blights or whatever. But the what is it? The bosses you see in here, the 3-headed dragon and all that nonsense. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know. I'm excited. It's got some Skyward Sword vibes. It's got some big story, cinematic stuff. Looks like it's gonna be happening. Ganon's back. Like I'm all for this. I'm more excited than I was for sure. I mean, this excites me far more than that little bit of gameplay they showed a few weeks ago with Nomura. Not Nomura. Nomura? No. Aonuma.
Aonuma, yeah.
Sorry. Thinking of the wrong game.
Quack.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
I got nothing to say. Yeah. It looks cool.
I thought it was,
I want to play it. Put it in my hand.
Yeah, I already got the pre-order as well.
Did you get the console or just the game?
I got the man. Don't get me started with the console. No, I ended up getting the game from Walmart because they had the banner. So I jumped on that one. I jumped on that one. I thought it was cool. I was liking it. I really enjoy it. It looks awesome.
But yeah, I think this trailer it showed I think we're officially gravitating away from Blight Ganon to now this is full on Ganondorf, I think. He's his actual form and whatnot. And
there's some other antagonist, I think. I mean, there's some other character in there that clearly seems
this person, whoever that is.
I don't know. Is it this one? I don't know. They cut so much between. It's hard to tell the continuity of the trailer.
And I think someone was in a podcast I was listening to. They were saying that you see this one elf-looking creature, and a lot of people think that's the ancient version of Zelda. Her original being that she's born of or something.
Oh, maybe that's the character I'm thinking of. You said like just a little face shot of her here, like standing in front of an army or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was another antagonist. It's hard to tell. This game's definitely doing some weird stuff with time. I don't know. It's hard to parse through it. I think it makes sense of what the overall narrative's going to be, but the little snippets of gameplay is what I was more excited about. Just a little piece that they showed of environments they're going to be in, bosses you're going to encounter. Yeah, that right there.
I don't think that's the
It
one
does look like a...
That's not the one I saw.
It looks like an antagonist.
Yeah, they look like a baddie, but
yeah, looks like she's gonna do something bad.
Because that's one thing the last game didn't have much in the way of, was a good, like, personable antagonist. Like, you had the Ganon or Calamity Ganon floating around, but that was it. Like, he wasn't like a personality, he was just this entity, right? So now you're actually gonna have something to kind of bounce off against, to interact with and engage with, which I think is gonna help give your a little more motivation, a little more agency to what you're doing in the game.
Well, yeah, a lot of people, I think a lot of people are theorizing is that this game's time frame is like all of the time frames coming together. So I think they say in this trailer you can see like the ancient form of those characters you saw in the flashbacks in the previous game. So like, yeah, there's like a... Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just saying all of those characters are like in this trailer if you look or something.
Yeah. I like the theory too that this is like the end of the Zelda timeline, which then loops back into the beginning of the timeline. Like, so like, you know, Skyward Sword's supposed to be the beginning of the entire Zelda timeline, and Breath of the Wild was the end last we checked. This game kind of loops you back.
Or keep going.
So I think that makes a lot of sence. I think it'd be an interesting twist. So
yeah, see, that's like the ancient form of Zelda there. Or I think
maybe it's what is it? Hylia?
That's what I'm saying. Her ancient like being she's supposed to be or something.
That'd be interesting.
At least that's what I thought. I don't know.
I'm digging it. I don't want to waste too much of our speedrun time on it, but I'm more excited by this than anything else I've seen about the game, and I'm very excited for, was it May 2nd? May 12th? It's May something with a 2 in it. 12th, yeah. Very excited.
So moving on to speedrun topic number 2. This one, again, I don't have much to say. The Final Fantasy 16 State of Play. What did you guys think? You guys any more or less excited for Final Fantasy 16?
I see the Metacritic score going up real high.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good. I got really excited when I saw it. I was like, oh no, PS5 is gonna come out of my pocket. It's good.
Is it a PS5 exclusive or is it gonna be on the 4?
It's exclusive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did, and I was looking around. I was like, well, let's see what's going on with the pre-orders now. And I was reading on it. A lot of people are pre-ordering it.
This game,
I don't even think you're gonna get the collector's edition anymore.
No, those things go out like day one. You got it, you said?
Yeah, I picked it up back in December.
This
man, that's like $400 spend.
This game's just going to be nothing but kaiju battles. That's all I took away from it. It's just going to be giant monsters fighting the whole time.
Hey man, I'd play that.
So, question, I don't know if this is the first time they revealed it and I just missed it from the prior revealings. You have no control over your party. They're completely automated.
Oh.
How do you guys feel about that?
Like,
He straight up said it in the last trailer.
Interesting. I didn't even hear it.
No.
The game looks good. Like, the gameplay looks fun, so I don't think I'm not going to like playing the game. I just always liked having a little bit of input over my party. I know in 15 you didn't have a lot. You could just be like, what was it? Prompto, go press that. And Gladios, go press that. But I liked having that little bit of engagement and control over my party. Not that it added a lot of strategy, but Final Fantasy to me has always been a little bit about, using your party and kind of highlighting their abilities to get through certain battles. So I don't know. I'm sure it's going to play just fine, and it's probably going to be a non-issue, but I kind of miss that option. I wish they would have been like, they can be automated, or you can be a little more tactile. Because this is full action RPG too. There's no pausing to take them, trigger up something or line up an attack or any of that. Is full real-time action combat, which I guess that's good. I don't know. Do you have any feelings on that? Or you guys are cool with that, or?
I mean, there's no wait times, so I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm looking forward to it regardless. I'm indifferent about the AI thing. I mean, Yeah, you had something kind of similar with like 13. Was it 13 or 12? No, I think
Well,
it was.
all of them you had some
They had,
level of control over your party.
yeah,
It was maybe
and
like light control, but you had something you could do with them.
I don't really have a
but
preference. I mean,
I like having control over my party, but then I also like if you mess up, it's on you, not because of the AI not doing its thing. And I noticed that with like even with the 7 remake, like you have to have a strategy with all of your characters.
And that's why I always like to. Like Final Fantasy has always had some level of strategy to it, and this is now changing that. Not saying you won't have any strategic capabilities. I mean, I'm sure there will be, um, but with an action RPG, that just changes, right? Your gameplay is different, so it looks good. I'm not trying to say it's a bad thing, but I don't know. I like having a little bit of choice in how I use my attacks and stuff like that, and
I
line
remember
up
watching this
abilities.
live. The first thing that came to my mind was like Devil May Cry or God of War. I wasn't really like Final Fantasy thinking, especially because there's a scene where he's like running up the arm of a Titan, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this just looks like God of War 3.
Which I'm sure will make it more accessible to more people. I mean, I think that's probably true. Like, not everybody loves anything even remotely resembling turn-based, so I'm sure people are going to really dig that. It's going more with like almost like Kingdom Hearts style, where you just go out and attack. But even Kingdom Hearts, you had like control over your party too. So no,
We'll see.
Yeah,
it looks pretty though.
it definitely
Right.
does. All right,
Looks
so
like it plays super well too.
so moving on to the next one, Xbox announced that the launch version of Redfall is going to be capped at 30 FPS, not
Game that does
60.
not look like it's going to run super well.
Yeah, to me this is kind of to me this is a bummer. It's like one of the few Xbox games this year that I'm like kind of interested in, and it's like they keep shooting themselves in the foot with like everything. It's like the only good game this year, hopefully, is Starfield and what was it, Hi-Fi Rush. It's like you got to get your ducks in a row here.
Man, I always root for Xbox. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a fanboy one way or the other. Like, I love my PlayStation, I love my Xbox, but I've been wanting to see Xbox make a comeback because I was big on them in the 360 days. I'm like, okay, this is going to be their chance. They got all these good studios, they got some cool games lined up, but this is just bad. Like, this is bad for oh crap, what's the studio?
Bethesda? It's Bethesda.
Oh, that's the publisher. The studio
um,
is. Oh, they do Prey and
yeah.
Dishonored. Crap. How's my brain blanking on it?
Oh, hold on. I have the article. It should say Arcane.
Arcane, yeah. This is bad for them. Really bad for Xbox, especially because people have been saying this, but Xbox this whole generation has been touting the Xbox Series X is the best, most powerful console, and now you're releasing a game that honestly doesn't look all that graphically amazing, running at 30 frames. Like, I know it's hard to optimize a game, and I'm sure it'll have its 60 frame patch, but I'll tell you, you don't see Sony releasing games like that. Like, God of War came out, 60 frames. Final Fantasy, it's gonna be 60 frames. Like, they are taking the time to make sure whatever they put out looks good. I would rather have them wait on Redfall and put it out. I don't think they're going to because they're so close to release. Like, they're going to lose more money marketing
especially
than not.
after Infinite. It's like Infinite relaunching without co-op. It's like, come on.
They need a home run with one of these next games. Like, they're just like stumbling out of the gate with all these. And it's not that any of them are terrible games. Infinite was not a bad game, but it was not a home run.
If Starfield is like a C,
the same.
if Starfield launches at like a C, it's gonna be. That's like their big thing.
And I'm nervous. I don't want to say I'm nervous about Starfield. Like, I think I'm going to enjoy it, but it's not because I think it's going to be some incredible game, to be honest. I think it's going to be, as everybody else is putting it, Skyrim in space, which I'm perfectly fine with. Like, that sounds great to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I also expect it to be buggy, not perform great, be a little awkward and janky, and that's not a home run game. That's, you're going to have fun with it, but I don't know. I think this is a very bad look for all parties involved. Whether this is a good game or not, I guess is left to be seen, but man, they needed this to come out really hot with 60 frames and good quality and right out the gate. So.
All right, so next we have Sega gobbles up, what is it, Rovio, which is the developer behind the Angry Birds games.
I didn't even know that was still a thing.
they bought them for 775 million buckaroonies.
I didn't know Sega had that much money.
Yeah, that's what's
I was wondering what the hell they're doing. Like, they're still doing stuff?
Rovio?
Why Angry Birds? I mean, unless they're just looking...
It's less, I think, about
mobile,
Angry Birds.
They're just getting into mobile.
They want the developers. Like, Rovio, and they're still in the game. Like, they, I think, redid Angry Birds relatively recently to be more in line with, like, more up-to-date modern mobile games. And I think that's a market Sega wants into. Like, mobile games, lots of money there. And Sega has never done really well trying to capitalize on that. And they've got some good IPs that I think could work there. Like, they're releasing a Persona mobile game. Think about some good kind of gacha Sonic mobile games. Like, they have enough IPs that, done well, put out in a mobile environment, they'll make a lot of bank. So I think that's what they're thinking, is how to capitalize on their IPs with the developers from Rovio and make some more money.
All right.
So
minute 10 seconds. So which one are we tackling next? I guess we'll
go down the line, I guess.
Jonathan Majors. Gosh, I don't even have this article popped up. I know the part of it was that he was dropped by his PR kind of team. So
he's just being dropped. I think his manager's PR team, like, basically everybody's canceling Jonathan Majors. And we talked about this a little bit already. Like, I don't really want to necessarily retread the issue with the domestic abuse and all that kind of stuff, but I think the more interesting thing here is, what is Marvel going to do now? Because they have been building this guy up to be the next big bad. They've already had him in several things as King the Conqueror, and that's their next Thanos. What does Marvel do?
I hate to compare situations, but I think if DC has stayed with Ezra Miller this long, I feel like Ezra's been much more of a head case than Jonathan so far.
Timer?
No, it's just because I have it off screen. 10 seconds.
Oh,
but,
10 seconds.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. I feel like I think this is his first time getting in trouble, but I don't know. Maybe it's just a particularly bad case.
Yeah, I think the difference here with Ezra is they needed Ezra for one last film. Like, they just needed to get through this one thing to kind of catapult into Gunn's new universe. So I think they were probably willing to bite the bullet since they already invested in him. Majors was going to be the guy for how long? Like, the next 7, 8, 9 movies? I don't know. I don't think they can buy into him that long. It's not just getting through one movie. It's getting through an entire several phases. So, do they recast him? Do they keep him? Do they, I don't know, quit and just go back to make a Star Wars movie?
I don't know. I'm sure there's people getting paid a lot of money to to figure this out right now over at Disney.
Yeah. Do you think people? Well, I guess I know we're out of time, but do you think people would be accepting if Disney kept them, or are they, as the world already canceled Majors?
Well, it's probably particular because Disney's supposed to be this family friendly, company for all. So it's like, if you got this head guy of yours causing problems for people, it's like.
Well, remember though, Disney, put the boot to Depp back when all the Herd stuff happened. I feel like they kind of regret that, because Depp has definitely made a comeback from that. For whether you agree with that whole case or not, that is a case of maybe canceling too early. So is Disney going to be a little more cautious around this one? I don't know. I think too there were apparently some texts that came up around him that were also very. I don't know. Less than becoming. They were not great. They did not paint him in a kind light. So I'm sure that's also weighing on them. I don't know.
Anyways,
I'm curious to see what they do.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so that's our speedrun topics for this week. So I guess. How many did
we get through? What's our score?
We got through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 8.
All right, so next week we got to beat 5. I was telling Chaz we should make this like an actual speedrun competition. We're trying to get through the most news articles every week.
I'll just start putting putting a number of our most ones we've got through on this screen.
Yeah, I don't remember if we did better in a prior week, but we can say our high score right now is 5. We've got to beat that next time.
Alrighty, so we're going to move on to our main topic, but just before we do, we did want to do like a little fun little section of our highlights from the Horde, right? To kind of open our way into the main topic. Let me move over to highlights. Okay. All right, so who wants to go first? So if you don't know, this main episode is Super Mario themed. So I think all of these items are going to be Mario oriented. I'll go, I guess, since nobody. Now I have 2 items, but I don't know which one to show.
Cheater.
I couldn't find anything super cool, so I just picked like 2 things that I love. Well, actually, one of them I haven't played, but I'll just show it just because I'm pretty sure it's like kind of still a rare game, or expensive at least. But my copy of Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door, I've never played it. I definitely think at some point this year this is a game that's going to be on my to-play list. It's one I've always wanted to.
Where'd you get that game?
I think I bought it from you or something. Oh, yeah. I get what you're saying. But
I found that at Goodwill with a stack of other GameCube games. Got it for $1.
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks, sucker.
I sold it to you for $1 too, because I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's still like $150 game probably. So, yeah, thank you. I'm very happy to have it. Yeah,
it's skyrocketed, man.
GameCube, man.
I know I have that game.
I
played it too.
All of my most expensive games are GameCube games, like the first 3 or 4.
Super high right now. What was the second item you had?
One of my favorite one of my favorites when I was a kid was my copy of Super Mario Land.
Oh, Mario Land.
Yeah.
Good old
Land.
Yeah,
Yep.
One of my favorites, and I have a really good condition too. That's why I like this one.
I recall fond memories of playing through Serrano's Sarasa Land Unreal level. Good times.
I still got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love that game. That was one of the
teleporters that launched into pits. Yeah, good times.
That was one of the first Game Boy games I had on the OG Game Boy, other than like Pokemon Blue or something.
I used to play it so much. Like when my parents would go shopping, I'd just be hiding in the corner of whatever store they're in, just trying to get through Mario Land. That game's so hard to try to get through the whole thing.
I don't think I ever finished it. No.
Mario
Well, it's relentless. It's not that any one thing is hard, but there is no checkpoint, no continue, no nothing. You just got one sitting, beat the whole thing.
Yep.
That's when you know you're old, when games were like that.
Mm-hmm.
Although I guess they do have like Returnal and stuff, technically. There are games that are styled after
they're
Hades.
different, though. Like, I don't know. Because their whole gameplay loop is to be hard or to be beat in one sitting. Like,
and you do earn things that make your next play easier, as opposed to this game where it's just just
back in the day,
replay
it's you just gotta get good, man. Gotta be good.
Get good, scrub.
For an 8-year-old, is like, you better stop sucking, kid.
You don't know any better at that age. They're just like, oh well, I'll play it again.
Every game was hard, so you had to cut your teeth on something rough. So
I wish some of these new age kids would go back and play OG Pokemon and see just how probably slow things are. XP earning
well,
and all
to
that.
be fair, Pokemon didn't change much for like 30 years. It just started changing the gameplay loop a little bit, so they probably wouldn't feel that different, to be honest. But either way.
All right, so who
Why
wants
don't you
to
go, Metal?
go first?
I feel like I've been talking too much already.
I didn't get to grab anything while I was. I just jumped up at the last second.
You gotta have some soundtrack.
Well, do you want me to,
or something.
chat while you go grab something, or do you have anything close by?
Yeah, just go look.
I got plenty of Mario stuff. You know that. I got tons of Mario junk.
Go grab something.
Okay, I'll be back.
I'll go then. I
got?
feel like I might have already shown this in something prior, but it just seemed too fitting not to for what we're about to talk about. My Mario Brothers laser disc.
Pretty sure
the
you've
OG.
shown it.
Yeah, well, I don't care.
That's fine.
I don't know. You've seen this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. What I find funny is, I know we're going to talk about the new movie in just a minute, but the premise of this movie is pretty much the same as the new movie.
Is it really? I've never seen the old one.
Oh, when you think, I thought you said you have seen this.
Never seen the old one.
Oh, well, like they start out, real plumbers out in Brooklyn. They get sucked into a pipe and they end up in the mushroom. Like, I don't know, it follows a lot of the very same story beats. So to think that they almost like redeem themselves, man, so bad. I'm just looking at Dennis Hopper, man, as Bowser. That's just like.
I know the one that everyone makes
right
fun of is was it Cooper Kid? Which one's this tiny head?
The Goombas.
Oh, the Goombas.
They
That's right.
were Goombas. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. Like, how are those Goombas? And then Yoshi was just straight up a Velociraptor, like pulled from Jurassic Park. Like,
I think the only way I've seen that movie is through AVGN. I think he did a review a long time ago about it.
I haven't seen it, and I don't even know how many decades. But it's up for a new rewatching. Maybe we can make that a topic at some point. Rewatch the old one and may compare it to the new one. I don't know. But
We could probably live stream a viewing of it. I don't know if that movie's. I would assume there's copyright. I don't know.
oh, there's copyright.
Yeah.
You can look into legalities of it. If you can find a good way to do it, then we'll
No.
make it happen.
Hmm.
All right,
So
Metal.
did
Do we
you-
buy enough time?
Sure. What did you show?
My Mario movies Laserdisc.
Oh God.
Yeah, it just seemed apt for what we're talking about.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
No, it's neat. Like I don't know, man. I don't know if I can even watch that movie.
All right.
It's
I
been
would
so
like to,
long.
but I don't even know if I feel like it. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll put on my.
All right.
crap
So
aside
Metal
one day,
Gamer's
just
gonna show his Bowser body pillow.
Oh man, how'd you know? Anyway, so just to kind of beat up on Chaz a little bit, I already have one. I've had mine
Oh
forever.
man.
I've had mine for a long time. I bought it when it first came out.
That's
Like
a-
2002
that's like,
or something.
That's like $100.
Yeah.
That's $100 right there, probably.
Yeah.
Low end.
I got all the freaking low end. What the hell are you talking about?
No, I'm saying low end. It's $100, probably more than that.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing is like in fantastic condition.
GameCube is one of the like GameCube games just have like held their value like crazy, and they're like still going up.
That's
And
ridiculous.
PS2 is starting to get up there as well.
Yeah.
Let's see. Paper Mario. If it's not the greatest hits version, if it's loose, it's $88. If it's complete, it's 112.
112.
What? 112?
112 if it's complete.
The black label? Wow.
Black label.
Jeez. That's awesome. Good to know.
And player's choice is 56 loose and 78 complete.
Ooh.
So
Okay.
So this other one I got, and this one took me forever to find, and I was able to snag it, and I was able to get a Mario
Oh
Mix.
wow! I've never even seen
And-
that.
Yeah, came with the manual and all.
do you have the map?
That's the only thing it didn't come with.
So I found
I wanted the
the
mat. I
big
wanted
box. I found the big box with the mat at a Goodwill. Got it for like $5. I don't have the game though.
the mat.
The game's not super expensive. At least it wasn't. Like when I was checking, it was like $15-20. I still think it's not super expensive, but it's a fun one. My nephews used to play that a lot. So
Yeah, I got one more. So I have my Mario Party 6 in a box.
big
It's-
box.
It's pretty terrible condition, but
It's hard to keep those looking good.
fully functional game.
I have
With
Mario Party
everything
6. I just don't have the box.
And I even have the stupid microphone.
Mhm.
I have like a million of these things.
You know
I
one
keep
thing.
kicking myself because I have 7. I threw away my box though when I was a kid, like a dummy.
Yeah. So, and
One
think
thing I
this
wish I
one-
had is I have all the Mario Paint for the SNES behind
Mhm.
me, and I'm just missing the box. Like I've got the little mat, I've got the clicker.
It's hard to come by that box because it's a
Yeah.
big box.
Yeah, you're not gonna find that like
I thought about showing that, but I was
really-
like, without the box, it's no fun.
it's I guess so. I got so much Mario crap. I just I got a lot of stuff, so I just like I don't know, just choose some of the stuff I got there. Like
Well,
some of the
Mario is a
stuff I
pretty
got
all-encompassing character. Like I think it's kind of hard to not be involved in video games and not come up with crap load of Mario-enabled paraphernalia. So
Yeah, oh yeah, I agree. So, yeah.
Alrighty, so
Right,
so that is our highlights from the Horde for this week, and that leads us into our main topic for this week. Is we finally get to dig into the Super Mario Brothers movies. So you guys take it away. Was it everything you'd ever hoped and dreamed?
the most amazing cinematic masterpiece I have ever laid my. No, I'm just kidding.
Did you build a new relationship with your inner child? Did you felt all the nostalgia, everything?
Yeah. Well, I got to go with my child, my daughter, and she was super excited about it. I do think I was telling Chaz this. I took her at a poor time when we were both kind of tired, so I think she was getting kind of drowsy halfway through the movie. But she enjoyed it, and she was hyped up about it for the most part. So that made me more excited. And it was fun.
Some of my favorite memories with my dad are like going to see movies. Like I remember when we went to go see Shrek. That was a kind of a weird movie maybe to take your kid to watch, but I enjoyed it.
How old were you?
I don't remember.
Did he say that was your real father?
Funny.
I don't know where we want to start with this. I mean, there's supposed to say like general gut reactions, how we felt about it. Because I mean, I thought the movie was fun. I thought it was good, not great, but it was an enjoyable time at the theater. So I'll start with that.
I guess I would just say real quick, I found myself really enjoying the first half. Mm-hmm. The first half I very much enjoyed, and then just around the time the Donkey Kong stuff happens, that's around the time I started to like kind of get disinterested. And I think my one big problem with this movie is the one thing I had a problem with prior is that the voice acting for me kind of wasn't there. Like I didn't really like Mario and Luigi. I think the Donkey Kong stuff was really bad. I think all of the voice acting for that section, like Seth Rogen, he's not great.
He wasn't great.
And his dad,
I didn't mind.
Not great.
Cranky Kong, not good.
Cranky Kane.
I thought
whatever.
Mario was fine. Like, I know that's been the big hot button topic was how good Chris Pratt is. He's perfectly fine. Like, is there a better Mario out there? Maybe, but for what they were doing here, he was fine. He wasn't distracting. He served the character well enough. I had bigger issues with the Mario character, how they presented him more than just the way he sounded. I feel like Charlie Day as Luigi was interesting.
He barely says anything. I mean,
yeah, they didn't do much with Luigi in this, which, I mean, fine, I suppose. I thought his voice was fine. It's not the standard Luigi sound, but then again, Pratt was not the standard Mario sound, so I guess I don't mind there. Peach was fine. I thought Toad was actually probably my favorite.
Toad was my
voice. Yeah.
I actually think Mario part was more annoying, seeing as how at the very beginning when you get to hear Charles Martinet talk right next to him, it's like I don't know. Part of me was kind of annoyed that it's like because you saw the section where Charles was in. Yeah. It's annoying to hear him do the voice, and it's like I got the joke of the scene where it's like, haha, this guy does it better than you. But it's still it's like.
I would not have wanted Charles Martinet the whole movie. I really wouldn't. And part of it, I'll be completely honest, my nostalgic Mario lore, he's Brooklyn. Like, he's not Italian. I mean, Italian, whatever. But I go back to Captain Lou Albano, like Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Like, that's the Mario voice I hear, which is not Italian. It's the, hey, how you doing? Like... That's what I like. And not that Pratt was that, but he was closer to that than the Martinet Italian aesthetic or accent. I
kind of wanted him to be silent protagonist, but I know you, as a movie...
I don't think he came from Mario. Like, I am curious, like, if they end up doing this for, like, a Zelda movie, will they make Link a silent protagonist? Like, I think he almost is more required to be a silent protagonist, but that's, I don't know, that's a whole other argument.
Samuel Jackson voices Link.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought the voice was fine. I mean, you could argue one way or the other. I didn't think it was detracting to me. The only voice I thought was straight up bad was Cranky Kong, and I think that's a pretty common kind of opinion on it. Yeah. He just, when I think Cranky Kong, I think grouchy old Kong, and he's like just this goofy, like, sounding something. I don't know. I'm not sure what they were going for there, but it did not work.
Again, everything from the Donkey Kong on, I lost interest for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everything before that I thought was good. Pretty good.
What I think I liked about the early aspect of the movie is it didn't feel rushed. Like, the first, 20 minutes, I felt like they were taking some time to, as odd as this sounds, to give some lore to Mario and Luigi, which some of it was just nods to, nostalgia and other gaming moments.
Of the member berry stuff in the first 20 minutes is, really cool. Like, you get to see Wrecking Crew, Punch Out, Kid Icarus. You get to see.
Yeah, there's some Star Fox stuff in there. Like, there's a lot of little nods and Easter eggs, which is a lot of fun. And they brought like his family in there, which I thought was a little weird that Mario and Luigi lived with their parents. Like, I guess it makes sense in a way, but that was an odd thing. But apparently that was like old school lore that Nintendo never brought out. They had like drawings and stuff of their parents, so they kind of got to revisit that, which that's interesting.
I have seen. Oh, sorry. Finish your thought.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I have seen some backlash with this game, with some people being upset that, what is it? The whole girl empowerment thing, with people being like, "Well, why is Peach better than Mario, and why is she training him?" And it's been a certain
it's overly
segment.
Egregious.
Yeah.
I mean,
people are going to be upset about everything, but.
Yeah, I mean, there's some of that, but I don't think it's to the extent that it warrants a whole lot of issue with it. But kind of back to that point, like, I think the first, 20 minutes of the movie, I think it's paced really well. It's a good setup, and it feels cool. New. I mean, it gives you enough kind of nostalgia and nice member berries to kind of, perk up that side of your brain, but it also takes its time to kind of introduce things in a new way.
Like when they're going, sorry.
No, like they're going down and kind of.
I was going to say that scene, yeah.
He's trying to, save New York by being the best plumber. Like, that's all fun. I mean, obvious stuff. It's not like they reinvented the wheel, but it gives a little bit of something to the Mario and Luigi, relationship and their character, that they're trying to start up this, budding plumbing business after getting out of the Wrecking Crew, whatever his name, I don't know. I thought that was fun. But then as soon as you get to the Mushroom Kingdom, it is just, as fast as it possibly can to be like, here's the next thing, here's the next thing. And that's when it started to lose me. And when I say lose me, it's not that I didn't enjoy it, but any little bit of character development they tried to kind of build up on in those first 20 minutes is just done. There is no more character development as soon as you get to the Mushroom Kingdom. Everything's just kind of set, and you just go with it. And I feel like it didn't need to be that way.
So just a weird tangent. So Nintendo owns Donkey Kong, or
yeah.
Okay, so Rare. What is Rare's? So Rare just published Nintendo.
Rare made several they made Donkey Kong 64. They were the game developer behind Donkey Kong 64, as well as Banjo. So
Rare
and
has they were just given the IP from Nintendo just to make games. They were the developer.
Because back then they were a what do they call it, a second-party developer for Nintendo back in the day. Now they're owned by Microsoft, so that's where all the issue now comes from. But Nintendo owns the rights to Donkey Kong.
Okay,
yeah.
I just remember watching the movie. I was like, "Oh, Donkey Kong's in here." I don't know. I'm dumb. I don't know why I was surprised by it.
I guess, and I'm not letting Metal talk at all. Sorry. But I wish they wouldn't have done any of the Donkey Kong stuff.
I agree.
I wish they would have saved that for another movie. I mean, I get why they did it, but I feel like they could have, the Kong Army thing, completely superfluous, right? It doesn't have any impact on the ending. They all fall off Rainbow Road at a certain point. So really, that was just all a wash anyway. It was just there to fill time. They could have filled that time with at least a little bit of character development. They could have done more with Mario and Peach, even if it was a montage of them working through some Mario level, nostalgia kind of things where they have to help each other or get past, I don't know, King Boo or I don't know, just something else Mario related that I think could have been fun, or spent more time with Luigi over in Bowser's Castle. There's other things they could have done that could have given this movie the narrative, character development that it was lacking. But the movie, I don't think, trusted itself to do that. They just wanted to get to the next big thing to kind of say, ooh, look, it's Donkey Kong. Ooh, look, it's like a Smash Brothers scene. And I don't know.
That reminds me, that Luigi, when he walks into the castle, that should have been a mansion. He should have been captured in a mansion. But maybe they're saving that for another possible movie.
And I think they are. And that's what I think I'm getting at. They did a lot to just throw everything at you that's Mario themed. There's so much Mario stuff in here, which is fun. But they could have held back a little more, I think, because clearly they're going to have multiple sequels after this, right? This is not the last Mario movie they make. So there's plenty of time, plenty of room to have gotten into Kong stuff. The Mario Kart stuff could have happened later. They could have done this later and made this a little bit tighter as far as what their objectives were and the narrative was. So I think that would have helped flesh the movie out. Not that it needed to be. Let's be real. This is a Mario movie where narrative is not the most crucial thing, but it's also a movie, and people do expect a slightly higher narrative quality out of stuff because that's the nature of a movie, right? People play games to be mostly entertained by the gameplay. You watch a movie typically to get caught up in a story. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird middle ground here. It didn't have to necessarily be Citizen Kane, but they could have given us a little bit more.
What about you, gamer? What was something you really liked? I feel like we're overshadowing you a little bit.
Oh, I am. I'm talking too much. I'm sorry.
Did you like Bowser? Did you like Jack Black?
Jack Black was fantastic. I don't care what anyone says. It shows like it just like really, he really like pulls everything out of that one, and it shows the meanness and the soft side of the turtle, which is interesting to me. My favorite scene, really, to be honest with you, the presenting of the blue shell.
Okay.
That is what threw me for a loop, because I was
that
like,
on Rainbow
wait,
Road where the turtle turns or
Yeah.
something?
He got so pissed off that he decided that he wanted to blue shell it, and I was like, oh no, like it came out of nowhere, like no one expected it, and it's like, okay, I see what you did there.
What did
And
he?
then,
He
like,
kamikazed himself, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
You said
Like-
seppuku.
Which just adds a whole new context to what blue shells are now in Mario Kart.
It was just so nasty. Like, it just ended up happening, and it's like, oh my god, that was like the end of it. And it really did. He like completely like destroyed everything. Like after that, the Kong whatever army was like obliterated. It was like, bye,
Yeah.
see you later. It was all irrelevant
I'm-
at this point.
I am glad hearing
You know?
Phoenix.
But I do agree. I do agree that it did go quite quickly. After a certain point, it was really really fast. After a while, it was just kind of like, I don't know, just kind of kept throwing things at you, which it's fine. It's just, again, it's for kids.
Best character in the
At end of
movie.
day-
I was gonna say best character for me was the little blue star. That was the only character in the whole movie.
Oh,
where,
Luma.
yeah, every time that she.
The only escape is the sweet release of death. Yeah.
What's crazy is that I put a little more thought into that, and I was like, it makes sense why he's like that. He's a freaking star. That's it. Stars don't really die.
I love when they're getting lowered into the lava. Everyone's screaming, and that star is like, yeah.
Yeah.
It had fun parts. I mean, you said it like, so this is a movie for kids. I don't like that argument. Like, it's true. And, they succeeded in making something that appeals to kids and appeals to the nostalgic adults
It wasn't
like
bad.
us.
I mean,
It was not bad. Clearly, it's not.
That
Because
was good.
fans and audiences are loving it. They're making close to, $1 billion at this point. So that's all great. But they did play everything very safe. Like, okay, it's a kid's movie. I don't know if you guys saw that most recent Puss in Boots movie.
I heard
My
it's
daughter
really
told me
good.
that.
I heard it's
It
really
was
good.
really good.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this movie needed to be that either, but there's obviously plenty of room for a kids movie to not only be appealing to kids, but to also be appealing to adults at a slightly deeper level. Not saying this movie had to be that, but I guess what I'm saying is, like, I don't see why it couldn't have been. Like, it seemed like Nintendo was so big on, I want to push all these different things at you, probably for marketing, right? So they can sell more types of toys, more Mario Kart movie stuff, more Donkey Kong toys, whatever. I'm sure that's why they put so much in there. But they could have been a little more restrained, which would have opened up the movie a little bit for a better narrative. It's not that, I know this is Illumination, and people get all, all up in arms about
the Minions
Illumination, that they're...
people.
Yeah, but they've made some decent, like the first Despicable Me was not bad, right? It had some heart-tugging moments in it.
I don't
Well,
know.
okay, I've seen a lot of Illumination movies with my
Yeah.
kid the past
This
year
is
or
probably
so.
the first
I
one I've
like
seen.
Illumination.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, like, it's a studio that clearly has a track record making some solid stuff with some decent narrative, and this movie just went way too bland and way too safe. Once again, still successful, turned out well for them. I would hope in the next movie they don't say, I just want to make the exact same movie again. Like, use this now now they're a little more confident in this being a thing. Take a little bit of time, add a little more narrative to it that just adds a little something. I don't want much. Like, I'm really okay with this not being some amazing narrative, but I don't know. This one just felt, I don't want to say it was lacking heart, but it was lacking something that kind of, I don't know, helped me engage and really grasp onto the characters in a more meaningful way. But maybe I'm just being overly picky for a Mario movie. I don't know.
I also didn't think. I think it was missing like the grandiose aspect of Bowser. Like, most Mario games end with like a crazy Bowser section, and Bowser, his ending here is just kind of.
I thought the fight in Brooklyn was a little weak. Yeah.
I thought it was pretty weak. Yeah, and then like, I don't know. I just thought Bowser was kind of lackluster here. I mean, I agree. Jack Black did a great job, but I don't know.
They didn't make him seem overly imposing at the end. You're right. Like by the time they got to that moment of final confrontation, they already had the star, and it was just done at that point, right? So yeah, they could have souped up Bowser a little more. He probably should have gotten a power up, and then they had to get the star. Like they could have done a little more to add some tension to that. But
and I thought the Peaches scene was overrated. I know everyone's
the Peaches song.
Yeah, everyone's kind of talking about that. I was just like, okay.
I mean, the best Peaches song is still Millions of Peaches. So
Millions of Peaches. Peaches for me.
For me.
So something I mentioned to Phoenix before, we don't have to go too deep on it, but I just wanted to say like are the days gone of getting like, because I remember when we were kids, like a lot of the kids movies, I mean, I know we had Disney oriented type stuff, but other than like Disney, a lot of the kids movies and stuff I grew up loving were very like, had some heavy like adult themes, and like were actually kind of dark in certain places. Are there still movies like that around, or?
There are. I'll tell you that Puss in Boots movie
Might have been like that.
I mean, it's not. I mean, defining dark, I think, especially in
If you
comparison
look
to
at
those
something
90
like
movies.
James and the Giant Peach, or
There are parts, I think, of like that Puss in Boots movie that get close to that tone, like
Matilda.
Well, those are very specific ones, but like the Puss in Boots one talks a lot about death.
Ferngully.
Like it is very much about confronting death, and death is chasing you down. And there's some moments where you're like, man, this is getting a little much. So I don't think it's that we don't see those anymore. You got to know what movie to expect it in, though, right? You'd never expect that in a Mario movie. Like, that's never what Mario is going to be, right? It's never going to tread that dark territory. Even like something like a Luigi's Mansion, like they're not going to go dark. It's always going to be very kid-friendly and approachable, because that's Nintendo. I mean, when has Mario ever really been dark besides, I guess, the OG Mario movie, which, ooh, man, that's something.
When has Mario been? I guess you're right. I mean,
I think this is the wrong movie I think to expect that on. I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be maybe looking for that in other kid-like movies, but I don't think Mario was ever going to be the candidate for
that. Was just, when I was watching it, that was something that jumped into my mind, where it was just like, I don't know. That again,
it was a different time. Like, the world was different. What you could get away with.
80s and 90s kids movies are like all over the place.
Yeah, I think there was a better attitude, but like, toughen up, kid. Right? So we were okay exposing, or we were exposed to more.
I was watching the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie when I was like 3 or 4. That was like one of my favorites.
Yeah, I think we were just expected to kind of be okay with that kind of stuff and kind of take a tough enough attitude. Like nowadays, it's a very sheltered approach to most stuff, and everything's very cleansed and polished and overly E for everyone, which, I mean, we're just talking about that. What was it else? Like wrestling. Like how WWE has gone like completely PG. Like the edge of so many things has been kind of rounded off in all media, not just that. So, I mean, you might be right. There's probably a larger trend where more kid-like movies are.
Mortal Kombat was like my favorite movie when I was like 4 or 5, but.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess my point being is I don't think those movies are gone, but you're probably right. They're probably fewer and further between.
Interesting. All right. Well, again, we don't have to go too far into that, but I don't know. Anything else we have to say about the movie itself? Trying to think. Is there anything?
Are you guys looking forward to a potential sequel? Because I mean, we're gonna get one.
Oh yeah, this is
absolutely.
This has made so much money. They'll turn it into the MCU Mario Cinematic Universe.
MBU Mario Brothers Universe. I don't know. Would you rather next see a sequel to this or a spin-off, like a Luigi's Mansion or a straight up like Donkey Kong movie?
Spin-off.
Or...
I mean, that's me personally.
So what would it be? Would it be like a Luigi's Mansion or something completely different?
They can
definitely
totally do that. Like a spin-off with Luigi's Mansion and Mario goes missing.
I would even love to.
I want to see if Mario's gone missing or Mario's Time Machine.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Where Mario has to go through time and like hang out with Joan of Arc and find Luigi.
I would love to see
It'd be
like
Bill and Ted's just with Mario. It'd be great.
Like just to see the animation style. I would love to see a Paper Mario like full fledged. Like I would love to see how that would look. You know.
Or some Superstar Saga. Ooh.
I think seeing like Mario RPG I think could be interesting. I don't know how well that would read nowadays, but
I don't know, man. They're gonna have to get Square's approval for that one. You know how that,
and that game's got some very awkward characters I think to bring out of nowhere because they're not even in like the Mario lore much anymore. So I don't see Nintendo wanting to go that route. It seems like a lot of effort to brush off old characters and old IP stuff that they got other stuff that's probably a little easier to tap into. So let me ask you this: if it wasn't going to be like a Mario movie or Mario spin-off, do we want to see a new Nintendo IP, like a Star Fox movie, a Zelda movie?
I would rather see that, definitely.
I'd rather see a Star Fox movie.
Fox movie?
I think that could be easy too. Like
they have enough games to work with.
What about a Metroid?
Oh, they could do a Metroid
movie?
I think Star Fox would work very well just because all those characters already have a lot of personality. So it'd be very easy, I think, to play up those characters and take them to the screen. And although there's been a lot of games, most of those games, at least especially if you go like the OG ones, there's a lot of wiggle room there, right, with what they can do narratively. Like, think about just like Star Fox 64. You just got Andross, and he's taking over the galaxy, and that's basically bottom line plot. You can do whatever else you want to with it. So I'd like to see Star Fox. I think it'd be fun.
Do an F-Zero. Screw it.
Oh, I was gonna say F-Zero. Yeah.
Do F-Zero. It'd be like a Fast and the Furious knockoff.
Oh man, that'd be awesome.
God, who would you get to play Falcon?
Oh, family. Vin Diesel.
No, Chris Evans. Chris Evans to play Falcon.
No, it's got to be. No, I want to see this like straight up parody of Fast and the Furious. I think that would be the best way to sell this. It'd be Captain Falcon as Vin Diesel. What other F-Zero characters are there? I don't even know.
All I know is Falcon.
I don't know. Gotta get The Rock to play something.
No,
and,
I think
Jason Statham.
Chris Evans as Captain Falcon.
I don't really like that.
Falcon.
I don't know.
Punch.
He could probably do it, but I don't know. I'm going to vote Vin Diesel just because I think it'd be hilarious.
Sigourney Weaver as Samus, even at her age.
Oh, jeez.
Who else would you get to play Samus? I mean,
it could be anybody. I mean, he's in the helmet most of the time.
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt as
Samus. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else. Again, I thought the movie was fine for me. It was fine. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again.
I would.
I would want to watch it again.
This might look pretty on Blu-ray though.
It's a fun movie to watch. Like, here's the thing: my daughter's gonna want to watch it again, so I'll probably see it on repeat for like weeks and weeks after it comes out on Blu-ray or whatever. So I don't know if I'm gonna be watching it again for like narrative beats, but I actually want to go back and just see what little Easter eggs I missed, because I'm sure there's a lot of little nods that I didn't quite catch the first time around.
I'm kind of disappointed there wasn't an OG Donkey Kong reference during the Donkey Kong section. Like you didn't hear the doom 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 doom.
Well, they had the straight up Donkey Kong cab at the very beginning. Wasn't that what Chris Martinet's little cameo character was playing?
Maybe. I just meant like during the Donkey Kong section they should have used that as a moment to reference.
I mean, they used the entire stage, like literally throwing.
And they had barrels being thrown at you, like there were nods to it.
Were there barrels? I don't even remember.
Yeah, dude, he grabbed the barrels and he actually chucked them.
Oh.
Yeah, like that's Donkey Kong.
I only had one beer. I mean, I wasn't that. I should have noticed that.
Oh man, I only had like 3 buckets of popcorn.
You got lucky and got the little question mark block popcorn bucket. Man, I ran out by the time I got there.
I will say it's been long enough since I've been working at a movie theater where like now I enjoy just like having an hour or 2 hours to sit in a chair and eat popcorn and drink beer.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
It is pretty great.
No.
Well, shoot. You guys got anything else to add? No.
I think it's interesting how they added the suits to it.
The suits? Which suits?
The cats, like the cat suit and
Oh,
stuff like
okay.
that.
Was
That
it
really
Tanuki?
interesting.
Or Tanuki, is that the
Yeah,
word?
they used the Tanuki suit, which I'm surprised that he like maybe I guess they didn't need to like turn him into like a statue, but it would have been great to have him turn into a statue for no reason.
Yeah.
Just because and just drop down or do something or whatever.
They added lore that Mario doesn't like mushrooms for some reason.
I thought that was funny.
That was cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess, so let's go back to your girl power moment, because that kind of reminded me. Like, they do a little bit to kind of boost up Princess Peach as a character. Like, she's good at, that training thing, but I don't know. She doesn't, I think, ever overly upstage Mario. Like, he's still kind of
I don't think
primary
that. I'm
guy
just
at the
saying
end.
that's the talking point for some people with this movie.
I didn't get that feeling at all. Like, I mean, she runs a kingdom for Pete's sake. Like, really, like
they make her tougher. But what's the other option? Yeah, like if you leave her as what she is in the game, she literally is nothing. Like she is, just the helpless damsel in distress. And I don't feel like they could have gotten away with that. So I think they found a decent balance. They gave her maybe a little. She's too good at the obstacle course thing, but she didn't really do anything else.
I think it might just be like
people want something to fight about.
It might be like just like anti-feminist people that are like, how dare a woman show him how to do things, and it's like, it's a movie, it's a kids movie. I mean,
people want to read in and find an agenda and everything, and maybe there is. I mean, I'm sure at some level there was someone saying make Peach a tough one, and maybe that's what stemmed this conversation. But I don't feel like it ever got egregious. Like I don't mind them making her a standout, strong, feminine queen. I mean, she is, or princess. I mean, whatever.
Yeah. Like our conversation prior to... Oh, go ahead, Gamer.
No, I was going to say, they did come out with a Super Princess Peach game. Like, not for nothing. Like, they make her into a decent character.
And if you really think about it...
For Mario 2 as well. Like, I mean, granted, Mario 2 is not a real Mario game, but, that's beyond the point.
Yeah, I was just about to say, she was a playable character in that game where she was doing the same stuff as Mario and Luigi, grabbing Shy Guys and tossing them, floating them in her parasol undergarments. I don't know.
Which I think is interesting enough is they had a section where, they had the majority of them walking together, and it's really neat to see that. It's like, oh, look, Mario 2 style. Yeah, it's like that's kind of neat. Like I don't know. I don't see the whole feminist thing going on.
It's not like they made Mario overly weak either. Like, yeah, he was bad at that obstacle course the first time, but that would make sense because first time he's in Mushroom Kingdom, and then he gets the hang of it very quickly, right? So it's not like they downplayed Mario either much. Like he was always able to succeed. It was always by his ability. So
it's like our conversation before going live about something, other current events, where it's like, I think there's possibly a place for arguments like that, but it's like, when it comes to this case, it's a kids movie. It's like, this is not, for me, this isn't the place where I want to approach that subject, at least, you know what I mean? Like,
well, I think it depends, to be fair. Like,
it depends on how egregious, I guess. I don't get the sense that it's anything's egregious here,
Yeah, I feel like everything here is consistent enough with what the character could be, with within the realm of artistic liberties, that it's fine. Now, if they would have taken it where Peach was the one who saved Mario at the end,
she dragon punched a hole through Bowser's chest like Goku.
Yeah, if she was like the one, and she was the only reason they were able to complete anything, and then I think we're treading different territory, and then there's an argument to be made. But as it is, I think everything was fine. The movie overall was fine. It was enjoyable. I don't think it's gonna make too many people mad. I don't think it's gonna get too many people super hyped up about future Mario Universe stuff.
It's not making kids mad. I mean, what it's at like 700 million gross profit now.
Huge amount. Certainly not making Nintendo mad, because they are just swimming in their Scrooge McDuck money right now. So,
I mean, they were playing it safe with this movie because of freaking the first one. So I mean, obviously they had a lot was riding on this movie. If they would have done bad,
they've already begun. Yeah, they've already begun plans for whatever's next. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. So I don't know. I hope they don't play quite as safe next time. That's what I'll say. I hope they are open up a little more and try something a little more interesting for the next one.
Yeah. I'm glad they went this route though, instead of like realistic and nonsense.
I agree.
I really like the.
Yeah.
I think the art style and everything works perfectly fine for it.
Mm-hmm.
For what it is, even though they made him kind of stubby and a bunch of other crap, but to be honest, I mean, originally he was stubby anyway, so
Yeah, he's within that realm of he still looks like Mario, a little different, but not much. Everything is close enough that it feels right. So.
Yeah, I think what's really hilarious is that they threw the long lost third brother, Giuseppe.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
The rumor of Giuseppe, whatever, Mario, I guess, whatever the last name is, and they just threw it there. I was like, wow, good job.
I think I forgot.
They give him a face and everything.
Something I totally forgot to add, but what do you guys think about this weird John Leguizamo anti Super Mario movie stuff that's going on?
I haven't seen any of this.
It is so. He's complaining because of the Latinx people and blah blah blah, and I didn't want to read into it anymore.
John Leguizamo.
What's he mad about?
He's mad because there's no representation of Latinx people.
Yeah, he's been boycotting, telling people to boycott it.
Is that because he played Luigi back in the day and he feels like now Luigi should be Latin?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Instead of he was supposed to play an Italian plumber back then?
It's really...
I don't know. It's
You think he's just doing it because he's not like in the news anymore?
Yeah.
He needs a reason to be.
He's irrelevant.
I just thought it was fun. I felt like I had to bring that up just because I love Leguizamo, but it's like, come on, man.
Is he serious though, or is it like he's having fun with it?
John Leguizamo, the actor, told TMZ the day the Super Mario Brothers movie opened in theaters that he won't be watching it due to casting. No, I will not be watching it. And he's been kind of advocating other people not to go watch it as well. But
too bad. 500 million later, get out of here.
That's because he's now got in his head that Luigi should be Spanish. So.
Man, get out of here. I'm Spanish now.
Again, I love Leguizamo in terms of his works, but it's like, dude, don't ruin my opinion of you, please. Not that this does anything.
They didn't cast him as Luigi. They could have cast
either die a hero, Chaz, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. So it's Leguizamo's time.
Mel Gibson did that a long time ago. my Mad Max. No.
Oh no.
No. Boy.
All right. Last minute thoughts, or that kind of wrapped everything up?
No, I think I'm okay. What about you guys?
I'm good.
Peaches.
Millions of peaches. Peaches for Bowser.
So yeah, I don't know. But anyways, so that's wraps up our thoughts on the Super Mario Brothers movie. What do you guys got planned? I'm actually really glad because we were like debating on if we were even going to do this tonight, and I'm kind of glad we're able to at least knock it out. But what do you guys have before next episode?
We'll see. That's 2 weeks from now.
What's happening before then?
Doesn't
What is happening actually?
a game comes out pretty soon? I know Dead Island 2 just came out. Wasn't there something else coming out in June?
Isn't it?
Or not June. I'm sorry.
Isn't
End of
it
April.
Zelda? Or
Is
Zelda
the next big one?
Zelda comes out on the 12th.
So where are we sitting at? So we're going to try to go back to our Tuesday schedule, right? I assume.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be our next pod would be the 2nd. And then after that would be after the release of Zelda. So that would have to be our focus there. Why don't we do something interesting for the next one that's Zelda related? Maybe like top something Zelda moments.
You want to do another tier list? I mean, I could set up another tier list or something.
Yeah, kind of going into Tears of the Kingdom. That might be fun. So
Okay.
I might go back and maybe replay or revisit some of my my old Zelda games and see kind of what my feelings are. Top dungeons, top moments, top something. I don't know.
Play some Spirit Tracks.
I will say what I wanted video I do want to work on. One of my mom's favorite movie series growing up. My mom's she's a little weird, but I grew up.
Until you said that.
One of her favorite series growing up, or she used to watch all the time, was The Evil Dead. That's when my love for Evil Dead and Army of Darkness and all that. And so I've already told her pick a day, and I'll take her to go watch Evil Dead Rise. I'm super excited. I think I'm definitely going to do some sort of review or something based on that. I love spooky stuff, so
cool.
I know that
Sounds like fun.
That movie's going to be awesome. I even love the TV show Ash vs. Evil Dead. I think Bruce Campbell is a part of the... Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi are a part of this movie, but I think only in a production aspect. Like, they're not actually acting, which kind of stinks, but those are my boys. But I guess the only other thing I'll play is I'll keep playing Marvel Snap. And the only thing with Last of Us I didn't play was the DLC. I may try and block that out. It's only like 3 hours, I think, from what I understand.
You could start 2.
That's going to be long,
it's a longer
though.
game.
It's like 30-hour game, I think. 30, 35.
Yeah, I mean, you've got time if you did it now before Zelda, assuming you're wanting to play Zelda when it comes out, but you would need to start that soon.
Zelda's the 12th? I have time to play a game, yeah.
I don't know if you want to watch Chaz play a Zelda game again.
Oh, no, I'm not telling him to play a Zelda game. I couldn't watch that. I'm telling him to play Last of Us. I don't know if I can watch that, to be honest.
I mean, you've been telling me I should play Twilight. I could play Twilight. I mean, I never played that one.
Oh, Twilight Princess?
Mm-hmm.
Twilight's a great game.
Oh, man, I don't think I can watch you do it.
Man, you're going to suffer. That was not an easy game.
Really?
I haven't played Twilight in a long time.
What is the best way to play it? Isn't there a Wii U version?
There's a Wii U HD remake.
Because I only have the GameCube, I think.
Let's just say getting those tears are stupid.
Oh.
Oh, man, I hated that. Or the little droplets or whatever the hell they were. They looked like grapes.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I hated that freaking section. The spirit thing.
We'll see. Actually...
Wait, wasn't that was Skyward?
No, there was Twilight, wasn't it? Where you had to get that?
Skyward, I know had it, where you had to everything froze, and then you had to get so many of the little tears before the giant spirit things chased you down. Is that what we're talking about?
There was something in Twilight that was similar.
There probably was. It's been forever. I didn't play Twilight since it came out. It's been a while.
Yeah, for those of you who know, put it in the comments.
Yeah, down in the comments,
you're
let us
probably right.
know. I actually I'm kind of liking your idea of Last of Us, just simply because it's just
either
coming
that or
off of the first one. Yeah.
I mean, I think you'll probably
Playing two Zelda games back to back might be kind of.
That's true. And right now, while you're in kind of the Last of Us mode and kind of how you're appreciating the last one, it'd probably be good to piggyback straight into it. Yeah.
Should I play the DLC?
I'm curious too, because I know you had. Oh, for one?
Yeah.
I wouldn't bother. You saw the show. It is pretty close to that. You could probably watch a recap of, on YouTube if you want to see the actual gameplay implementation, but I don't think you're missing much.
We'll see. I might. I don't know. I'm starting to like the idea because there's other stuff I have lined up. Like I do want to go into Kingdom Hearts 2 eventually.
Oh, you still haven't done that.
I gotta play Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales still at some point.
Well, my vote's for The Last of Us. You got a little bit of time. Just start it right after this. As soon as we're done with the podcast. Just
maybe I'll start it this weekend.
Do you have to?
I have to. I have it on PS4, and I probably have it on digital too on the plan or whatever I have on PlayStation.
Gotcha. Cool. Sounds good.
All right. So yeah, again, anything else you guys got before we head on out of here?
No, I'm tired.
I agree. Yeah. I think it's bedtime.
I might just finish freaking Breath of the Wild now I think about it. I'm at the end.
I was wanting to replay it. I just never got around to it.
I can go straight to Ganon if I feel like it. I just,
Wait, have you ever beaten it?
No.
What? You never beaten it?
I feel like we talked about this. You started playing when it came out, and you just stopped at Ganon, didn't you? Forever?
Yep.
For 8 years?
I can't believe you haven't beaten it yet. I beat it. And
I think I understand why.
I wasn't interested. I got the full. I felt satisfied with the game. I got everything I wanted. I got Master Sword. I did everything. I was doing the trials for a while, and then I think I got up to I think floor 90 something, and then I failed and I stopped.
To be fair, I think I get why you feel that way. I didn't do everything in the game. I feel like I did a lot of I did a full route around the whole map. I did a good little kind of survey of everything. I did all the beasts, and then I went ahead and knocked out Ganon. As soon as I finished Ganon, I had no interest in going back and doing any shrines, anything else. The game just felt done. So it's probably better that you kind of put it off as long as possible, because as soon as you beat him, all motivation is just kind of sapped out of you to do anything else. At least for me it was. Maybe I'm just an odd one out.
I did see a really cool video of of somebody once they immediately get off the plateau, they launch
themselves.
They launch themselves onto a tree, like General Tao from Dragon Ball. And they just launch themselves straight into Ganondorf's castle, right into his room. And it's like...
beat the game in like 20 minutes.
Yeah. That is the cool thing about the new game, is you're going to get all sorts of crazy... Especially with how, you know, interactive they're making everything. I don't know.
Yep. For sure.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Well, that was what is this, episode 33 of the EnteR podcast? We're getting up there.
Too many of these.
Yeah, we need to retire while we're ahead.
Yep, let's quit. While we're ahead, never gotten anywhere yet. I think that we backtracked at this point.
Well, we had a hi in chat. Hi. All right, guys. Well, we can't wait to see you on the next episode. So I don't know. We love you. We can't wait to see you. Bye, everybody.
Yeah. See ya.